Welcome back. It's Clef from Punchboard Paradise, and I'm continuing my top 100 board games of all time. Well, top 101 board games of all time. And today we have reached our 80 through 71. So let's just get going. I'm going to just jump right into it. If you haven't seen the first two videos, go back and check them out. So, like I said, we're doing a little episode 3. So here we go. Number 80, we're going to start off with a fun little game that I played, I probably spent 5 or 6 years now. It's got a second edition nowadays, and that is Ground Floor. Now, Ground Floor, this happens to be here from TMG, obviously no longer around with us, but this was by David Short, and look at there, I'm turning the box upside down. Okay, by David Short. This is a very interesting game on the fact that you have two different types of currency. You have regular money, and then you have technology. And when you go to be able to do actions, a lot of times you're either going to need a whole lot of technology or a whole lot of money, sometimes a little bit of both. And sometimes it's really hard to figure out how do I get both of those, and the money and the technology go really fast. It's kind of a worker placement type of action at that point. Everybody kind of sees the board, and then you go through, and your whole thing is you're trying to build these floors that give you different technologies. But overall, I really like this game. I think it has great interaction. Just obviously it's my number 80 of all time. So that is Ground Floor. My number 79 is a classic. I mean, this game has been around for a long time, and it's one of the greats from one of the great designers, Mr. Reiner Knizia, and that is Lost Cities. So this is a 2-player only card game, and it's kind of a push your luck kind of card game where you're going to be putting out cards and trying to make as high of total as you can, kind of in your expedition as you're trying to go along. But your opponent's trying to do the same thing. And they might even pick the same color, like it has like 5 different suits. And they might even pick the same color as you. And you're just trying to make the best. And you're kind of drawing blindly. So there's definitely a lot of luck to it. But it does have a little bit of just, like I said, push your luck on which one do I start. Oh, I hope that I can finish this one. Yeah. And I'm going to throw in, for any of those who like Lost Cities, there's been a couple of different versions that came out. There was like a Lost Cities card game or auction game. I can't even remember. It wasn't very good, at least from what I remember. But about 2 years ago, I think it came out. It was a Lost Cities, the dice game. And it can play up to 4 players. And I'll tell you, as far as dice games go, I'm not a big, just dice game type of fan. But Lost Cities, a dice game, not too bad also. So I'm going to throw them in together. So there we go. So we got Lost Cities, the card game, and Lost Cities, the dice game. My number 79. My number 78, it's a heavy one. And this is going to be my first splotter on the list. And for those of you maybe unfamiliar with me and you're like, hey, who is this weird guy? I'm a big splotter fan. I do like all the splotters. So this is going to be the first one that's going to be on my list. And this is the most recent one. And where this one may be a little bit lower splatter-wise, still a great game, and I think everybody should give it a shot. And that is going to be this big pop-it right here, Horseless Carriage. Horseless Carriage. Woo, look at there, floating around, all right? This is kind of the beginning of car making, and it was kind of a new time where people were trying to figure out what kind of things they wanted in cars. And, so this is you trying to kind of get those specs for them of, do they want speed? Do they want safety? Do they want reliability? Kind of a fun little thing. And then you have to go and try to sell your cars in a market. And that's where most of the interaction comes in. Definitely has a little bit of heads down in it. Sometimes when you're trying to build your factory, it's kind of a whole bunch of tile laying. If you like tile laying, this is a really good game for you. But hey, it's still a great game. And like I said, first splotter on my list. Spoiler, more splotters coming. Here you go. Here's number 78, Horseless Carriage. All right, now my 77. This is kind of a game that's got a re-implementation that had come out. And I know a lot of people, the theme of this game kind of disturbed some people, so that's why they kind of changed it a little bit. But I've played that new version, which is called Sky Mines. This game that we're going to be talking about right now is Mombasa. So, excuse me. This is from Alexander Pfister. This is a great game, and it has some great things that go along with it. And a lot of people used to be like, oh, the book track is unwinnable, but that certainly is not true. Certainly it helps out with the new expansion where you can start to, earn a little bit more money with the max books or whatever, but still such a fun game. I really like it at 3. 2 is too few, and 4 seems a little chaotic when it comes to putting out the different houses and stuff out onto the board. But I like the original theme, but what I'll say is I like the fact that it was a lot easier to read. Like it was like bananas and cocoa and just things that were much easier to see. Where the new one, Sky Mines, it's like titanium and something else, and they look almost the same. It's almost like, is that titanium or is that carbon? I don't even know. So I like some of the new things that they threw into Sky Mines, but if you really had to ask me which one am I rather play, I will say I'd rather play Mombasa. Definitely a favorite of mine. So that is number 77, Mombasa. So my number 76, this is a brand new game that just came out, I think last year, 100% came out last year. And I think it's a remake of an older game. Sometimes don't quote me always on these things. I don't know 100%, but I believe this is a remake of an older game. And this one here is by Takayaki Sho. Oh my God, you guys know me. I'm terrible with names. But it's Big Top. I can say Big Top. It's from All Play Games. And heck, what a fun little auction game. And if you like auction, this is a game for you to give a try to. Basically, on your turn, you are going to name a number. And if you have any cards in front of you that have that number on them, you're going to be able to cover them up. And your whole object is to kind of cover up all the cards that are in front of you. But you're also going to be bidding on a card that's in the middle. And it's one of those games where whoever the auctioneer is, if somebody else wins it, they have to pay the auctioneer. And if the auctioneer wins, the money goes out of the game. And I've had games where there's been plenty of money to still flow around. And I've had games where every single time the auctioneer almost wins their own and like the money just drives it up. And all those games are really interesting. I like it. Like I said, if you like auction games, it's a real good, solid auction game. I love this one a lot. So that's going to be my number 76, Big Top. My number 75 is another one that I've played for many, many, many years and has a wonderful soft spot in my heart because I always enjoy it. It's quick. It's a little card game, and that is Biblos. Good old Biblos by Steve Finn. So this one here is all about trying to get the most total kind of value of the different colors. In the original Biblos, you just had 5 dice, and you were able to manipulate those dice. And let's say the dice ended up on 4, then at the end of the game, if I had more of, let's say, blue, and the blue dice was on 4, I would score 4 points. And let's say that somebody else had the most in red, and the red die was at 5, they would score 5 points. And it was just all about scoring that. And it's got either numbers or it's got money, which is how you can buy cards during kind of the auction round. So it kind of has a starting round and then a really interesting auction round. Now, I'll also throw this up. This right here is called The King and I. Excuse me, The King and Me, For the King and Me. I don't know what the heck the game is called. For the King and Me. This is, and it's still by Steve Finn. This is kind of a re-implementation of Biblos. So this one might be one that you can find a little bit easier. But it changed a minor couple of things where it made, instead of dice, it made like these placard numbers that you changed for the values. And it also gave like a second place. So like if, let's say that blue was worth 4 for whoever had the most of it, whoever had the second most would get 2 points. Definitely good. Honestly, both of them are great. Either one will play well. So that's going to be my number 75, Biblos. All right, so my next one here. I've only played this a couple of times, but it's rising fast, and I'm excited to get it back to the table. So when I was looking at games, ooh, which one do I like? And I was like, this one is so cool, and it has so much. I feel like it just has a lot of replayability because it's all interaction. I mean, that's all the game is, and that's going to be an old Sid Saxon game. I'm the boss. I'm the boss. Well, what is I the boss? Well, all you're doing is you're basically whoever, the active person is, they'll roll a die and they'll move around the board. And when they get to a spot, there's going to be some information on it. It's going to say, hey, this particular one has, say, 4 shares, and you need to have these people in them. And each person kind of gets dealt a card, and they're those people. And so it might be, okay, I need this person and myself to be in on this deal. So then I'll go to both of them and be like, all right, so there's 4 shares. How about I'll take 2 of the shares and you take, each take 1 of the shares. The shares will vary in amount of money as the game goes along. So maybe it's $5 million for each share. So I'll be like, hey, I'll take 10 mil, you each get 5. If everybody says, yep, they agree, then it's done and we get that money. Obviously, if one of the people is like, heck no, I want 7 million, you take 8 million and he gets 5 million. And then it might be like, okay, I'll do that. But then the other person all of a sudden says, nope, no deal. However, that's not it. Then there's a bunch of cards that you have, and you can use those cards to do different things, including you can be like that person right there is on vacation. So all of a sudden a person you need just went on vacation. But somebody else in their hand might have that card and be like, oh, okay, I'm now the cousin of that person, so I can now start to make that deal. And now they're involved and the other person's gone. And then the other card that's the most fun is there's a card that just says, I'm the boss. And so instead of that original person being the one trying to make the deal, they're out of it. And now it's you if you play the I am the boss card. And it just gets kind of chaotic and fun and crazy. And definitely, if you like negotiation and you like just, kind of yelling and screaming around the table about, hey, let's do this, and just trying to make the most money by the end of the game, this one here is for you. This is my number 74. I'm the boss. So my number 73, talk about classic. All right. This is one of the games that got me into the really gaming hobby. So, I started off early in my life with just mass market games, kind of went into Magic the Gathering, kind of Settlers of Catan, kind of brought me into board games. And then there was a point where there was a few games that I started playing that all of a sudden really was like, wow, this is what a board game can be. And this one by the great Stefan Feld, COB, Castles of Burgundy. Yep, I got the old Ravensburg version here. Kind of a lot of people are like, oh, it's so ugly. It doesn't matter to me. The gameplay is what is so amazing in this game. I know there's some very fancy now versions out there, which, I'd play them if somebody had one, but I'm good with just the original. It's got a bunch of little expansions that have kind of come out over time, but honestly, the actual base game is just absolutely phenomenal. On your turn, you roll 2, everybody rolls 2 dice, and on their turn, they're going to use those 2 dice as numbers, and you're either going to be grabbing tiles, or you're going to be taking tiles and putting them out into your world, and then you've got workers to manipulate the dice. It's so great. It's so pure. Such an amazing game. And so that's going to be my number 73, Castles of Burgundy. So my 72 is one I do not own. I need to get a copy of this, but it's not easy. And this is, I'm going to be honest with you and say, bad on me for research. Hopefully you'll see it here in the corner right here. But it's called Turncoats. And it's a game that I know it's a lady, and I believe I'm not even going to say, I don't know where she's at, but I know she makes these games by hand. And so the game is actually like in a flat like sack that you can like tie up with the stuff in there. And this game, all it is it's a flat, when you can take the game itself turns into the board. So you put the board out, and it has just like a little world, and it has some little starting things, and you have these different colored beads. So you got like blue and red and black and such like that. And then I think it's just the 3 colors. You put them out onto the board, and then on your turn, you can basically do like a fight action. Oh, and you're going to have, I'm sorry, you're going to collect some, you'll have some of the cubes behind you too. But you can do like a fight action to like kill some. You can do like a move action to move them around. Or you can always pull a cube out of the bag, and then you can either keep that one and put a different one back, or you can just put that one back, but you kind of do that secretly. And what it is there's, when the game triggers for the end, which is basically, I think it's everybody passing, then you're going to reveal, but then there's going to be some hierarchy of how many points each one scores. And then let's say that red scores 4 points, and blue scores 3 points, and black scores 2 points, whatever the case is. And I reveal my thing, and I've got 2 blue and a red. I'm going to score those points. And it's just then highest points wins. Very cool game. If you have somehow to get it, give it a try at least, it's definitely worth it. I really, really like this game. I need to get a copy for myself, and that is Turncoats. So final for this video, I got my last one here. And last video, I had a game on there from Mr. Martin Wallace, was A Few Acres of Snow. Well, this one that I got here is kind of the 4-player version of A Few Acres of Snow, but yet it's not. I mean, it has some similarities, but yet it's also a totally different game. And that is going to be A Handful of Stars. All right. So as I said, this is Martin Wallace. Once again, this is an old version here from Tree Frog Games. Definitely not in print. One you're going to have to kind of get in the aftermarket if it sounds interesting. But this plays 4 players, and you definitely want either 3 or 4. And it's basically kind of an area control game, but you are buying cards similar to Star Realms in the fact that you're buying cards to make your hand better. And you're playing cards, except for you've got a board kind of involved. So if you like Star Realms, this would not be a bad game for you to check out. And it's all about just trying to control these different planets. And at the end of the game, most points wins. Really cool, really beautiful looking game. I really like this one. So that's going to be my number 71, A Handful of Stars. Okay, well, that was it. So nice, quick, and easy. Going through my number 80 through 71. Once again, if you're liking these videos and you think they're informative and helpful, or just find them cool, hit that like and subscribe, and I really do appreciate it. And if you like anything else you're hearing and you've never listened to Punchboard Paradise, please go check us out. Punchboard Paradise, you can go to punchboardparadise.com and you can get all the links there, or you can go to punchboardparadise@gmail and shoot us an email, or like I said, pretty much you can find our podcast on any podcast type of place that puts out podcasts. Yeah, those things. Apps. That's really the word I was looking for. Guys, I appreciate you watching. If you do have any questions, throw them down in the comments. I'd love to respond to you. And all right, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.